Hey Scorpios, and welcome to your May 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys, I think, an important reading for your month ahead. The energy is very strong this month. Like, there's no sugarcoating or beating around the bush, Scorpios. I feel this reading to be one of the most important ones that I've given in a long time, as I myself, as a Scorpio, find myself in not the easiest territory. I think that all Scorpios can relate to things being a lot better in some ways and worse in other ways. And, productivity here and lack of there. This reading's going to be it's not going to be slow, but I'm not going to really force myself to emote or force myself to speak quickly in any way, because I'm really trying to feel out the energies and I'm trying to really naturally understand what is here, because it is confusing to me, as a reader. And throughout this reading, I am trying to also navigate that energy and understand what that represents for myself, and then also for any of you who those messages might resonate with. So, first of all, what I'm feeling is something has to pass this month. Something has to pass. There will be a lot of things that are quite heavy. A breathlessness or a tightness of the energy, confinement, pressurization that has to pass and release in May. Now, this is coming from the last 2 weeks of April really strongly, and to a degree for about the last year and a half. And May is really coming in with the Magician as your central theme to show you overcoming something, letting something pass, having the energy, having the strength, not convincing yourself that you're not strong enough to do certain things. There's a low point that I feel Scorpios were secretly at, okay? Where many things had gotten better, where perhaps the finances had gotten better, there were more options to be had, more opportunities around, and then you saw yourself start to take some chances, perhaps take a few leaps of faith, and there's a heaviness as you're doing it, there's a fear as you're doing it. Okay, so your planet, Scorpio, Pluto, is going retrograde, okay? By May, it's retrograde. I have a video on that, and I'll put that in the description box below. But for Scorpios, whenever Pluto goes retrograde, this is a paramount time of change. It is one of the most transformative periods because it really makes you go back and look at things. It really tests you. It really, if you're convincing yourself that you're not strong enough to do something for a long time, or if you're, struggling with procrastination or struggling with heartbreak, struggling with moving on from something, Pluto retrograde really tests that and asks, is this worthy? Is this struggle that you're having, this traumatic cycle, this, inclination toward anxiety, is it warranted? And if it's not, we're going to really test that, okay? So yes, some fears can come up, especially in late April, but moving into May, I feel that by May, most of us are placed into those situations, or most of us have sort of dipped our feet into the situations. I don't feel it to just be starting in May. So coming into May, you're already kind of there, and you're already kind of doing these things, Scorpio. These things that are out of your comfort zone. So I feel Scorpio to be out of their comfort zone just a little bit in May, and it's not the easiest thing. 5 of Pentacles and 8 of Swords is a difficult combination. At the same time, it clears a lot of karma. Okay, so anything that's super difficult, anything that's super hard to cope with is a karma cleanser, okay? And you have karma cleansers in the month of May, Scorpio, more than I have seen or felt for you in a long time. And I think you played something really safe, perhaps. What I feel some of this energy to be is a result of playing things very safe for quite a while. So we maybe haven't been out of our comfort zone in a while, or we've been too afraid to leave a comfort zone, too secluded for our own good, perhaps. And then when it's time to get out of the nest, it can be hard to do that. I want you to pay attention whenever you're anxious, Scorpio. Whenever you're feeling heavy, whenever you're feeling tight, whenever you're feeling like you can't compose yourself, and there's something deeper there that we'll get into in a second, but I don't want to get to it quite yet. When you're feeling these anxieties or these, it's not even quite an anxiety, it's more of a fear of mortality, but again, that's kind of getting into this next topic. When you feel that, Scorpio, you need to pay attention to what's around you when you feel that and see the pattern. Okay, so is it only happening when you're outside of your comfort zone? Is this anxiety, or is this feeling of powerlessness, or like being a victim to your environment, feeling like all you can be is a victim to your environment, because to take control or to take a chance or to use an option is too frightful or too angsty. It's like it's almost preferable to be in safe, secluded experiences. And that is really good for some of you. Some of you pulled back in April and kept the safe, secluded experience, and I feel that that does give you a leg up in May, but you still have to face something in May. For those of you who face something in April, May will not give you as much heaviness, but you will still feel, what do I want to say, a lack of smoothness to a degree here and there, and that serves to cleanse karma. That serves to show you your true strength and your true ability. All right, Scorpios. Again, this reading will probably stretch out for a while. I'm just feeling like I need a good stream of consciousness here to understand the energies myself. What I can really say is that mortality is a big thing for May, and this is going to stretch out for the entirety of the Pluto retrograde. And you're going to have an ascension relating to mortality and relating to how you view your life, how you use your life force, how you gain energy, where your energy comes from, how you interact with the world, and how that charges you as a person. All of these things will be tested and re-examined. Okay, so there will be an examination of your mortality and your life force as a person. This Pluto retrograde happens in Capricorn. It happens once a year anyway, as it is. Pluto retrogrades once a year. And it's definitely not the first time we've experienced that. But it's one of also the reasons why I think Scorpio has had such a rough time of things over the last few years, along with difficult Saturn transits. The Pluto and Capricorn energy is not the brightest. It's one of the darker Pluto energies, not in a bad way. This isn't like evilness. This isn't hatred. This isn't despair necessarily. It can become those things. But there's just a lot of shadow about Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Neptune in Pisces also trining some of the Scorpio stuff you might have. It's a great breeding ground for psychological terror. Uranus and Taurus as well. These are all earth and water energies. Saturn in Capricorn. I'm trying to think, is there Jupiter and Sag? Thank God for it. Thank God for it. It does help brighten the stage a little bit and give us some like really beautiful, benevolent experiences as well. But it also can add a bit of a volatility to the thing too, because I feel that Scorpio can also have such beautiful, bright, loving experiences, like new opportunities for love, definitely coming out of April and into May. New opportunities for connecting with people like you never have before. Again, for getting out of your comfort zone with love, and for maybe experiencing someone in a way that you haven't in a long time, or in a way that you never have before. So experiencing love in a completely new way could be possible for many of you, actually. And it's like that accompanies this sense of heaviness, and that brightens the path within this tightness that you might be experiencing energetically. And I'm hoping to get some messages throughout the rest of the reading about what you can do to decrease this tightness, to decrease this heaviness, because it's the strongest I've felt it for you guys in a long time. And I'm sorry to say that, because I know that, but I know that you feel it, and I know that you've been going through it. And it's not really that different than it's been for the last year and a half. But it's now getting tested, and it's now trying to clear out karmically. So it's going to be exploited isn't the right word, but you can experience exploitation during a Pluto retrograde. You might feel like your fears are being exploited. You might feel like you're pressed into circumstances that test you, even things which feel embarrassing, even things which feel humiliating. And you see that as that happens, you come out of that and something passes. So you go through something that might be embarrassing, humiliating, heavy, or difficult, with like a bit of a hysterical psychology about it, and you come out of that, and all of a sudden things are so much lighter because you realize that you can survive it. There's something in Scorpio that is not convinced that it can survive certain things. I feel it doubting its life force, and I feel it doubting its ability for transformation. So there's so much transformative energy about, but Pluto retrograde can also inhibit transformative ability a touch. So yes, now is definitely the time for vitamins, eating well, stress-free lifestyle if you can. All the things which kind of support your body's natural regeneration cycles, good sleep, good connection with people, good food. These things are really important during this time, because it's like we can be a bit on the edge. We can be right on the edge and to like maybe not eat for a day, or to have a few sleepless nights, or to not at least try, because Pluto is funny about these things. Pluto is not sometimes the most realistic energy. It's not false or illusory like Neptune, but Pluto is very connected to effort and what do I want to say, striving. It's very connected to people not giving up on themselves, towards, not accepting defeat, really persevering energy. So even if you aren't 100% successful in, getting the perfect lifestyle, getting the perfect, perfection around you, complete enlightenment, complete ascension, the effort towards bringing those things about, the true, honest, pure effort, I feel to be so rewarding as well. And it really does help you if there comes a time where things get so stressful that you can't sleep or that you can't get the proper amount of food. It's like, even though things can start to look dire or edgy, the effort towards keeping your life beautiful, towards keeping your life connected to yourself, and keeping it real, keeping it human. So again, eating, sleeping. Sometimes Scorpios don't do these things because, again, you almost feel not real. You're one of the more, you and Pisces, and I would also say, Sagittarius can also be this way a little bit too. Very disconnected from the human experience sometimes. Very, very energetic beings. And sometimes these bodies that we're in can become a little bit taxed as those signs, because sometimes you forget to eat, or sometimes you get a wave of desire, then you can't sleep, or sometimes there's just an insomnia. I also do feel that fungus, parasites, endocrine issues, lymph issues, those can have a resurgence during this time, and you have to be diligent and you have to make effort. It's not about getting discouraged or seeing that something goes wrong, or that you're having more stress than you expected and thinking, oh my God, now I'm going to completely go off the deep end. I'm going to go over the edge. It is about seeing those moments, existing in those moments, and saying, I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm not going to let this overtake me. I'm finding willpower. So willpower is an incredible asset during a Pluto retrograde. And I would almost say an imperative asset, something that is not debatable for Scorpios, that is. Willpower must be available in abundance. Okay, so there has to be something on the other side of it. Now is not a terrible time to start a new goal, or to pick up the pace a little bit towards a goal that you've had in it for a while. You can get overly ambitious during this time, or just have a lack of ambition. It is hard to find that middle ground. But for those who can find that middle ground, the willpower, health, and natural transformation that comes about is so magical. And one way or another, getting back to the concept of May as a month, you build up towards more power and more energy one way or another. And it is roundabout, I will say. It may not come from the expected source where this like willpower, energy, strength comes from, because you do have strength reversed in your reading as well. Strength reversed, the Empress reversed, the Hanged Man reversed. Lots of major arcana with that upright magician as your central theme. I just feel like so much karma is reaped in the month of May for you, negative, positive, or any type of karma that isn't even within that scope of things. It's such a karmic month. It's so strong. And most of you will see something very different in the month of May. There's just something that really strikes me about your energy, Scorpio, that says to me, way different, hugely new surrounding, hugely new people, and really beautiful and testing experiences within that. Can you overcome the past karmic cycles of relationships? That will be tested. Can you overcome past anxiety? Hypochondria, thinking that you're, a lot sicker than you are with something, that mistaking anxiety for health or vice versa. Can you overcome that? Can you cross the T's and dot the I's relating to your health? Can you be intuitive with your body and know what it wants and understand what it needs from you? It's a great time to really transform your health over the next 5 months. Really, there's, it can go either way. We can have a transformation south or north. We can really be our own power source here, and that can be scary sometimes. You can have like carte blanche to work with here, Scorpio, blank canvas, any options, every option, and you can feel overpowered by that. You can see yourself missing more, what do I want to say, controlled times of your life where other people were more in the driver's seat and you didn't have much options, so you kind of just had to fall into line. Well, that's not so much the case anymore. That Eight of Swords is reversed. The confines are not on. Now you have to make your own decisions, and you have to experience the experiences and circumstances that come as a result of them. And that's freaking you guys out just a little bit to have so much autonomy, I feel like. So I feel like some of you may be fresh out of a relationship, freshly single, having to adjust to that. Or others of you freshly in a relationship and having like more autonomy than you expected there. Any Scorpio that has a lot of autonomy right now, you must look within. You must look and see where the scars are, because it's a really loud wake-up call from the universe. Because Scorpio is it's not, I don't want to call it codependent, but it does tend towards seclusion, reclusion, autonomy, despite it being a connecting sign. It is a connecting sign. It's on the Taurus Scorpio axis, and it's not really actually meant for solitude. Now, a lot of Scorpios experience solitude more than any other sign. Scorpio and Cancer. Cancer is more so meant for solitude. But Scorpio is not. It is a codependent, leechy, parasitic, even energy at times. So it's always looking for sources of energy, and that's not always a bad thing. It's always looking for life. Okay? Scorpio rules life and death, so it always seeks both polarities. And this is a time where you do want to seek life if you can, because I feel like there's a lot of dead weight. So this is a great time for detoxing, letting the weight out, letting the clothes be looser, letting things be more comfortable, healing up your skin, healing up your endocrine system, healing up the nervous system. It starts here, really. And you might have been doing this for a long time, but it truly starts here. So I really want to call some of you and challenge you today, as you're listening to this reading, to think, what do I need to do to get my body in order? What do I need to do to get my energy in order? Because oftentimes they are so very congruent with each other. Okay, Scorpios, I'm going to go ahead and start looking into the week to week, and we'll see what else is coming up for you. In the first week of May 2019, you have the Empress reversed, rooted down by Page of Pentacles. So any lingering insecurity will be prominently aware there. You have to let go of insecurities there. You're not feeling sexy, you're not feeling attractive, you're maybe not feeling like you can command people the way that you want to with like your sex appeal. That's not going to be for all of you. For others of you, you're not satisfied with your appearance right now, and that is a supported time to change your appearance a little bit. The Pluto retrograde is actually not too terrible for that. You can make changes, or you can really make changes from the inside out, is what that supports, more so than, just changing your hair, although that can be a nice synergetic thing too. So like really, again, getting your skin glowing, getting those under eye bags away by doing the parasite cleanse or the detox or whatever it is. You have to really think about what has led toward this dissatisfaction with your projection as a person. To me, the Empress really deals with projection. It really deals with how we exude and how we project and how that affects our environment around us. It's not about direct projection. It's not about directly changing something. That's the Emperor. But it's about the way that we coercively project. And that's not a negative spin on that word. It's just what does exist in our projection and how that affects our environment around us. And when that's in reverse, it says to me that we're feeling a little bit out of control of our environment. We're feeling like our environment is not matching up to what our projection is, and we're wanting to change that. So you might want to spend a little bit of money on that. Actually, Page of Pentacles, reading that down, says spend a little bit on it. Don't go crazy. You might have to put some money into your environment, or money into your body or your appearance, money into the self, not things which are temporary, not things which are going to support like a shopping addiction or support a small moment of satisfaction, like the things that you truly need, the health, the deficiencies that you have in your body that need to be solved, the lack of cleanliness in your space. That's a big thing for Pluto retrograde as Scorpio. It can dirty up your surroundings a little bit, so you sometimes have to see that congruency as well. Is there something that kind of got dirtied up within? Clean that, clean your surroundings, and you'll be shocked at how much easier it is to breathe, how much easier it is to really connect with yourself easier. Week number 2, you have the Five of Pentacles, rooted down by the Hanged Man reversed. Sorry, there's a crow making noises overhead. I'm actually filming with the windows open because I need air, Scorpios. I feel like I can't breathe lately, so I'm like, get some air in here, let the place air out. So apologies for any sounds of nature, which... But anyway, yes, for the second week for you, Scorpios, you can see that you've overspent during that time for sure. And not just in money. You're really going to get clear starting then about like what certain actions or choices cost in your life. That's another huge thing of Pluto retrograde, is it doesn't really like being too delicately footed. What do I mean by that? It doesn't support sort of saying like, yeah, I'll come be in a relationship with you, and then like you never really do it. You never really like actually commit. What you like say what you mean what you say, or it gets forced with a Pluto retrograde. So if you say that you want to be with a certain person, you're probably going to end up being with that person. So don't play. It's important to not play with your words, or to play with certain thoughts, or to play with people's expectations or thoughts. Like I also feel this with family karma for Scorpios. You have to be careful about committing to certain things just because it's what people want to hear. Big throat chakra thing, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye. Those three are really feeling to struggle a little bit for Scorpio, and have been for a while now, and heal through these experiences. So second week, yes, you will see how much things have cost. You might see that you're having to commit to something that you didn't really want to sign up for, but you did, and now you just have to do it. Kind of menial energy there at times, but I also sense for others of you that it's a great opportunity to let go of certain confines. Five of Pentacles will show you what is holding you down, what is keeping you low, and then the Hanged Man reversed will let you untie that, disconnect from that, and move on. So for Scorpios who have really moved on and have been able to get out of confines, that second week of May can really be an easy time where you're not afraid, of those things. You might have a bit of a recollection of that, or a new closure that comes up with that, but I feel it to be solved for many of you, and you either solve it then, or it's solved and you have a lot of gratification for having solved it. Week number 3 for Scorpios, Knight of Swords rooted down by Eight of Swords reversed. And if that really doesn't sum things up a little bit for me, I kind of love the message that comes to my mind with that, because they're such opposite ends of the spectrum. On one hand, we have this like very gallivanting, quick to action, energetic, fast moving, coordinated energy, rooted down by a very slow, blinded feeling, anxious, heavy, tight, weighed down, out of favor energy. I feel that to be such a conglomeration within the Scorpio energy right now. And I love that the Magician is nearby. I love that Strength is nearby. I love everything pretty much that's nearby those energies. Because you see both sides of it. I mean, you have the Strength and the Two of Wands, and then you have Five of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and you just see all of that sort of working together in synergy within you, and it is not something that is sustainable. So you have to commit, Scorpio. You have to either see that I can be this coordinated, fast-paced. I think Knight of Swords energy is great for you. Some of you have to slow down a little bit, but when it's upright, like honestly, you know, it's fine to move quickly and spontaneously and even a little bit haphazardly, but it needs haphazardly. Actually, no, I don't like haphazardly for Knight of Swords. It needs to be a very coordinated, logical, almost ninja-like movement. Very well defined, very well trained. Eight of Swords reversed, though. What are you running away from? What are you utilizing that energy for? Are you trying to Knight of Swords away from Eight of Swords? Is it that, what do I want to say? Is it Eight of Swords that's provoking this, or is it something that's natural within you? It needs to be natural. So I think that a lot of Scorpios might be trying to hide from the truth, or a lot of Scorpios might be trying to delay a difficult circumstance, and like maybe putting a lot of like great action into their lives to delay certain difficulties. And it's like, this is the time in the third week where you can really shut the door on that, where you can really see it's not about delaying difficulty. It's not about hiding from something that's inevitable. It's about authentically being present for this call to action that I experience, for the things that I'm drawn to, and knowing that that's okay, knowing that you're drawn to certain things, and knowing that those things which are positive and not hurting other people, okay, that's a whole nother thing, because I do feel that other people can be hurt by your actions during this time. I feel that your words can be hurtful. I feel that you have to be careful with the way that you speak, with the way that you speak about these types of things, the way that you speak to family, the way that you speak to loved ones. You have to be careful, because you could do damage here if you're not careful, if you're just letting yourself be belligerent about things. But my point moving on was you have to find truth in your motivations, and you have to find reality there as well. You have to see the bigger picture. You have to see why you're doing what you're doing, and you have to be behind it. We can't go back and forth like, oh, here I am in this new place, or here I am in this new relationship. Here I am out of this old relationship. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish I hadn't done this. That is a huge potentiality for a Pluto retrograde, and that really separates the people who thrive during a Pluto retrograde and the people who struggle. I wish I wasn't where I'm at. I wish I'd made a different decision in the past. I wish that I hadn't followed my gut instinct, or that I hadn't done what felt right to me at the time. I have messed up my life by following my gut instinct. Sometimes we do. But it is not the gut instinct that is to blame for this type of thing. It is an unawareness of the true reality of a situation. Okay, so you have to be very careful about punishing certain things which are positive, because you can't quite see that it might have just been a lack of good decision making, or a lack of enough care, laziness, procrastination, fear, anxiety. It might be better to actually see it for what it is than to try to get mad at yourself or other people and try to scapegoat either your own intuition or scapegoat your own decision making process for something that it's not. So stand behind your decisions, stand behind where you are and where you're at, and understand that you can thrive anywhere during this time, Scorpio. You can thrive anywhere, in any relationship, in any experience, because when Pluto goes retrograde, it does actually protect you quite a lot. It does give you karmic lessons and difficulties, but it's one of the most protective energies for a Scorpio, because that has to happen during that time. Those karmic lessons have to happen, and they can sometimes be dangerous. So it really ups your protection from spirit, from the universe, so that you can take these lessons and understand them. And what I also love, and especially as we're moving into the fourth week here, strength reversed rooted down by 2 of Wands, there can also be very gentle, lovely lessons to come through too. And that's really what we're getting into as we move out of May, is a more gentle approach to karmic lessons. And for some of you, that's all it will be. Some of you who've done the work, like, it will be very gentle throughout most of the month. But there can be such, I don't know, a globe-trotting energy, a easiness with seeing yourself in many different places, being able to be many different places. You're still maybe not feeling as strong as you would like to feel, but improvement happens and you have capability. So not confounding your strength and capability is going to be an important thing. And also the ability to have that willpower that we were talking about earlier, while understanding your limits. So that integration of knowing your limit, knowing what is not a good idea. I just feel like the decision-making process within Scorpio really gets enhanced and honed over this month. Maybe not for all of them is it the easiest thing to go through, but the decision-making process, the sureness or assuredness within their current path, or the fine-tuning of a path, is like the silver lining of this month, is it really does make clear what doesn't work and shows pretty awesomely what does. So finding that middle ground, and your middle ground, whatever that looks like, is going to be so important. And what I love is that the Magician is the central theme. The Magician's a tricky energy for me. I don't always like it, actually. It is, I would say, one of the most tricky cards in the tarot. It is the Magician, after all. It's known for tricks, right? But I love it the way that it is placed in your reading this month, because it says to me that throughout anything, every Scorpio everywhere in some way overcomes something. There is a passing and an overcoming. There goes the sirens. I take that as a sign. I take the sirens as a sign that for every Scorpio there is a passage or an overcoming of a very long karmic lesson that they were going through. And we're not talking little things here. I mean, we are, but we're not talking like little passage, like little, I feel a little bit better. I feel like something kind of clicked into place today. You can have that this month, but there is an overwhelming sense of, wow, I got out of my comfort zone. I did something I needed to do for a long time. It wasn't maybe the easiest thing in the world, but it has placed me into a point where I have more power than I've had in a long time, and I have more access to what I've wanted for a long time as well. And there's magic. So your central theme is magic this month, Scorpio. So that can be a lot of pressure to handle, because again, I feel pressure here and I feel tightness, I feel heaviness. That's especially coming from April, though. It's not really reintroducing itself in May in the same way, but there is a reverberation I feel from April that you can like easily, if you think hard about it, make something difficult, tight, heavy, or unseen. But also very easily you can make something smooth, brilliant, learning, and magic very easily. Very magically learning month for you. Lots of lessons here, lots of good lessons that really get utilized in the future by you. You know, knowing what environment is or isn't right for you, knowing what is or is not a resource for you in life, what you're pursuing, what your goals are, and the power that you have and how to wield it. All of that is coming up here, Scorpio, and I'm wishing you so much love and light. I hope that you've received some good messages here in this reading. Just keep going, just keep moving. Remember that this month, just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep going. You can do it. For some of you, it's really not going to be that difficult. Now, I'd urge you to check out your sun, moon, rising sign as well for the month, because you might get some more insight about that as well. Your likes, comments, and subscribes do make my day. I hope you'll check the description box below. You can get these readings early and ad-free on my Patreon page, as well as other things. And yeah, there will be other useful links there. The Pluto retrograde video is there, as well as other things I've been doing lately. So check that out. And again, comment, like, subscribe if you get the opportunity. It helps to get things out there. And we will be talking soon, Scorpio. Good luck this month. It's an important, incredible, healing one for you if you let it be. Okay, talk soon. Bye.